Good evening. It's a real privilege to be here, and I want to thank you all for coming this evening to this official opening here at HIURAP, okay, to know Future Hope. It's a real honor to be here, and I especially want to thank Dr. David Grafton for all he did to make it actually become a reality. You always need someone on the ground, sur place, who can bring it about. Sir David Attenborough, one of my heroes, the broadcaster, biologist, and naturalist who next month will be 100 years old, said this: "In our hands now lies not only our own future, but that of all other living creatures with whom we share the earth. If working apart, we are a force powerful enough to destabilize the planet, surely working together, we're powerful enough to save it." Many of us believe that our world is experiencing a climate crisis with far-reaching consequences, where planet Earth, if you will, is at this tipping point. And there's a critical need for people across the globe to unite, certainly to work together to ensure a sustainable future for our planet and everything that lives upon it. Sea levels are rising. We're, in effect, sinking, though maybe not as fast as Noah's 40 days and 40 nights. However, the outcome is similar. And we're experiencing natural disasters on an unprecedented scale due to climate change. And industrialization and widespread consumerism are leading to immense damage being done to the Earth's habitat, to animal life, and to its fragile ecosystems. And so this exhibition is really a calling to the human family to make the changes needed, reminding us that we're all passengers on the same vessel, on the same ark, in need of protection, care, and a collective commitment to secure a sustainable future for generations to come. These climate and environmental challenges are also, interestingly, contributing to destabilizing our world, providing this fertile ground for division. I think you'd all likely agree that today's climate is one increasingly of prejudice, of polarization, whether related to color or faith or political views or ethnicity, including the rise of anti-Semitism and anti-Arab sentiment, and of course, even increasing Islamophobia. All too often, this can lead to dehumanizing the other, whomever the other is, whether in worldviews or words or actions. And it's vital that this not become the new norm. Like never before, I believe all this needs to be counteracted by creative initiatives that are based on our similarities, on what we hold in common. And more than ever, I think it's essential that creative demonstrations of dialogue be developed, which is what this exhibition is. And this exhibition, Noah, A Future Hope, is really an artistic response to all of this. And while the exhibition serves as a creative catalyst to inspire action towards preserving the earth, it also offers a message of hope for future generations. For it offers the possibility of change and a belief that a better and more responsible future is actually possible. Flood stories have been around since oral traditions first started, and they are, of course, prevalent in indigenous cultures all around the world. The Sumerians were likely the first to write down their flood stories in the Epic of Gilgamesh. And the commonality, though, of all these different flood stories reminds us that we are subject to the forces of nature and that we depend on the environment for our existence. And this is where that epic story of Noah comes in, which is deeply embedded, of course, in the faith traditions of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, the most well-known flood story in history. And it has captured imaginations down through the ages. In fact, Noah is so loved by those of the Abrahamic faith traditions, so popular, that he's the only one I know, quite remarkably, that has 5 different tombs. I have been to 4 of them: Azerbaijan, Jordan, Turkey, Iraq, and Lebanon. So he's embraced by many. I was at the tomb of Noah in Lebanon last year, and it was very moving to be there. And within all the Abrahamic faiths, Noah is seen as a spiritual figure who serves as a reminder of humanity's role as a protector and caretaker of the earth. And in this way, the story of Noah, the animals, the flood, take on contemporary relevance as we face today's climate crises. The story of Noah has been featured prominently in art throughout the centuries by a wide range of renowned artists such as Michelangelo and Bruegel and Gustave Doré and Salvador Dali and Marc Chagall and Anselm Kiefer and Howard Hicks here in the United States. And this exhibition actually features three premier contemporary artists from the faith traditions of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, whose artistic practices uniquely blend their spiritual, cultural, and creative expressions. Yona Verwer, Dutch-born of Jewish heritage, Brian Whelan, Irish-born of Christian heritage, and Hadi Borai, Egyptian of Muslim heritage. All are award-winning artists. And each artist was invited to create 8 paintings that interpret the lessons of Noah, that whole flood story, visually inspire our imaginations toward healing our world by honoring our intricate connection to the earth as our sustainer and by maintaining a sacred balance with all of life forms. And I would encourage you to read the 7 pillars, the 7 lessons, if you will, that we can learn from Noah in a contemporary way today. They're on the back boards there, on the information boards, or if you can get a copy of this as well, I think you'll find it insightful. I should also say, by the way, and artists always want me to say this, is that the artwork is for sale, and 100% of it the proceeds go to the artists themselves. This exhibition also encourages us to live and work together as one family in caring for the planet. For after all, Noah reminds us that Jews, Christians, and Muslims actually have the same family heritage. Throughout the exhibition tour, in many venues, the art serves really as a catalyst for the development of associated programs and events to accompany the exhibition, to stimulate discussion and dialogue and education, promoting further understanding. The exhibition is premiering here this evening, of course, and it will run through May 15. And then it continues its 3-year tour throughout North America to Europe and ends up in the Middle East. And goes to art venues, cultural centers, and heavily trafficked sacred spaces like cathedrals, for example. But we're making a statement here. For we are addressing what is now becoming in this country one of the most unpopular of subjects: climate change and environmental stewardship. In effect, during a time when there's increasing division and prejudice, and when caring for our planet is discouraged by so many, we are making a statement saying it does not have to be this way. And we're illustrating that we can actually work together to tackle common global problems, building on what? On our shared humanity. Behind all of this is the belief that art is a universal language that actually has the ability to dissolve the differences that divide us. And we have found art that can be one of the most effective mediums to enhance understanding, to bring about respect, to enable sharing, and certainly to deepen friendship between diverse cultures, peoples, and spiritual traditions. We believe there's something transcendent about art. Art creates a new pathway of understanding, bringing about a new kind of power that strikes us on this deep subconscious level. Art invites us to reimagine ourselves or our world, certainly our internal narratives. One may ask, why is art so effective? Well, in addition to art having a transcendent dimension to it, one of the secrets I have discovered in using the medium of the arts is, especially in building bridges between those of diverse backgrounds, is that art is indirect in its approach to addressing very difficult and often very sensitive issues. It's like doing it under the table. And as a result, the all too often defensive walls that are raised aren't. Also, artistic initiatives becoming counterpoints, bringing people together that would normally never come together, gaining insights into the other, providing greater understanding, and certainly alleviating fears that sometimes exist. And within this, we profoundly believe that artists can lead the way. Artists are naturally change agents and therefore can provide new pathways of seeing our world. That's the power of creativity. Time and time again, we've seen the words of the 14th century the Persian Sufi poet and mystic Hafez to be true. He writes, "Art is the conversation. Art offers an opening for the heart. Art is at least this knowledge of where we are standing. In this wonderland, we are partners straddling the universe." And in this sense, looking through the lens of the Noah story, this exhibition has the primary objective of helping us see the other and our world with fresh eyes, and also asserting the common priorities that we all seek and treasure. Our day, I think, calls for a whole new kind of movement, not of belief, certainly not of really religious unity, but one that quite simply builds on what we hold in common. We're all too often blinded by the constant illumination of our differences that we can't see all that we have in common. I close with some words from an artist of Jewish heritage that are very apropos, I think, at this time. None other than Leonard Bernstein, the renowned late composer and conductor, highlighting the transformative power of art. The point is, art never stopped a war. That was never its function. Art cannot change events, but it can change people. It can affect people so that they are changed, and then they act in a way that may affect the course of events by the way they behave and the way they think. I now have the privilege of introducing